Hello, my name is Mauricio Martinez-Torres, and I am a member of the Junior City Council. Today I want to introduce to you Auburn City Council member, Mrs. Largo Wells. Hello, Mrs. Wells.
I'm so glad to have an opportunity to meet with you for two reasons. One, that you're from West Auburn, school that I used to work with, and the other because you're on the Junior Council. I'm just really excited. Can you tell me why you decided to fill out the application and go through that complex process to be a member of the Auburn Youth Council?
Well, my teacher had mentioned it to me. Actually, my principal, Mr. Holloman, he mentioned it to my teacher, and they thought that I would be a great fit for it. And I decided to take a chance with it because I like to help out in my community. And I thought, well, there's this quote that I read, and it says, if you want to be great, you have to do great things. And so I always shoot to be great. And so I decided to take an action, not just say it, but take action and be a part of my community.
I think that's absolutely incredible. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, like how long you've lived in Auburn and which schools you've gone to and your family and everything else?
Well, I grew up in Auburn as a little kid, and then I moved to Covington.
Okay.
So when I was little here, I went to Pioneer and Washington Elementary. And then I moved to Covington, went to Jenkins Creek and Cedar Heights High School.
Okay.
And my background is kind of iffy. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of in the past.
I think that probably some of the rest of us have had some of those experiences too. It's what you do with those experiences that really count. But go on with your story.
And so I moved back to Auburn.
Yeah.
And I went to Auburn High, but then it wasn't really a great fit for me.
Yeah.
And you know, I was still not in the right path.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to West Auburn. And then that's where really I kind of developed a different mindset.
Yeah.
And
It's a very nice school because it has the smaller numbers. I mean, you've got a couple thousand at Auburn High School and you have about 250 there. So it's easier to make friends and get connected with staff. What are some of your favorite classes that may have led to your interest in being on the Youth Council?
I think history.
Okay.
History, because I like the way you know, not just Auburn, but the United States, how it was formed.
Yeah.
And it made me want to be a part of something like that, like a city.
Yeah.
So
what are some of the, when you look out at Auburn and all of its greatness, and because I'm on the City Council, I feel like it's really pretty great. Where are some areas where you think that you could give us some input to make the city better for our youth?
I like how they have the rec center over there by the library, and how they have a foundation over there for the youth to go and hang out, and instead of being out causing mischief.
Yeah.
And I think if we could provide more
Transportation so kids could get there.
that, and other places where kids can go hang out in different areas in
In
Auburn,
their neighborhoods, yeah.
it would create more opportunities for the youth to go out and do something in their community instead of causing mischief.
Well, I think that you brought up a point that I hadn't thought of. I've always looked at the need for transportation, but you're saying that we need to have more regional so that we keep connected with the neighborhoods. And that's something that you probably need to pass on to Rich Wagner, who is, chairing or whatever the Auburn Youth Council. That's a very good idea. What else would you like to see, like in the area of entertainment?
Well, for me, it's entertaining to go out to dog parks.
Oh.
And because I love dogs.
Oh, you do?
I have 2 dogs.
Oh, what kind of dogs?
It's a lab, and part beagle, part lab, and then I have an Australian Shepherd lab.
Oh, so you're into the medium to big dogs.
I like big dogs.
Oh.
And I have a lot of fun going out to dog parks, but the only problem that I find is the transportation.
See?
And because we don't have one in this area, so I would have to go, I have to go out of my way to go to the dog park.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would like around here.
Yeah.
Like a dog park by the library, maybe.
Yes.
Like in the center
there
of
at
the
Les
town.
Grove Park, they've talked about possibly putting in a dog run area, which would be pretty nice. I know we have one up on a couple up on Lee Hill, and I think we have one by our New Humane Society, but I'm not totally
Lakeland
sure.
Hills?
Yeah. Okay, good ideas. It seems with your history background and that you're a natural for being on the City Council. You can learn to appreciate that many of the customs that we have in relationship to parliamentary procedure and having a dais or whatever, that they come from our historical background in the early 17 and 1800s. Do you have any questions for me? And please make them, I'm a little old, so please make them very easy.
So, how did you make the decision to become a council member?
Well, I have a daughter that's not much older than you, and she went to Auburn Mountain View, and I kept asking her to run for office because it's a very it's a way to give back to your community, but it also looks very good on your transcript for college. And I kept asking her to run, and she didn't seem to have interest in it, and I thought, well, then why don't I do it? You know, you have to model what you expect other people to do. So that's the reason why I decided to run, to give back to my community and to model the importance of our electoral process.
Okay. And what do you do, like, as an example of what you do around the community as a council member?
Well, like this coming Thursday or Wednesday, I go to the senior center and meet with some of the seniors there in an informal setting so I can get their feedback about some of the issues that they have concerns, just like what I'm doing with you, and to find out what your issues are. It's very important that if we have a representative form of government, that we know the people that we represent. And so I'll meet with them. I work with the food bank and meet with people such as that. And then I am a substitute teacher at Mount Baker, which is an incredibly culturally diverse school, to try to keep in touch with what youth wants and the diversity needs of our community.
So what were you like as a kid?
Well, I'm glad it was a long time ago. I was a non-reader until I was in the 8th grade. So I dealt with a lot of issues of not understanding what was going on in the classroom. And I was a world traveler in that I was raised in Turkey and Germany and England and had a different understanding of things. So when I came to the United States, I was kind of bullied a little bit, and I was a little bit of an odd duck, and then I couldn't read. So it took me a while to kind of get my life on track and move forward. So that's why I have an incredible sensitivity for the youth and learning.
That's great. When you're not doing your activities as a council member, what do you do in your free time?
I belong to a book club, and I'm learning how to play bridge, and I work with the food bank and Auburn Youth Resources and a lot of the nonprofits. I'm a member of the Noon Kiwanis, and I substitute teach, which I dearly love. So what do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Well, for me, it's always been a goal to have my own business in the future.
Good.
And that's what I see myself doing in 10 years, and helping others, like helping other troubled teenagers like I was at one point.
Yeah.
And you know, I have many opportunities to do that today.
Yeah.
And I know that if I stay with the people that I surround myself with today, that those opportunities won't go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will always be able to help others.
Well, again, as we close, I want to say that I think it's wonderful that we have such a quality representative from West Auburn Senior High School. It's a great school, and it sounds to me like you're really making the most of it. And as a mother, look at some of the essay and scholarships that are out there as you pursue your future, especially as a junior. You can start planning your strategy so that you can do a lot of those applications your senior year.
I will do that.
Again, nice meeting
Nice to
you.
meet you.